It's finally here. The NFL season opens with Cowboys versus Eagles in Philadelphia. Well, in the stadium floor. Dallas enters without Micah Parsons after trading him in the offseason. That leaves their pass rush and front seven weaker than in past years. The Eagles, coming off their Super Bowl championship, still bring one of the top offensive lines in football, ranked top 5 last season in both pass block win rate and adjusted line yards. Dak Prescott has CeeDee Lamb, George Pickens, and Jake Ferguson, but the Cowboys' offensive line remains a concern against a Philadelphia defense that finished top 3 in pressure rate last year. Protection breakdowns were already an issue late last year, and this matchup doesn't favor Dallas. Jalen Hurts returns with Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, and Devontae Smith. Barkley put up over 2,000 rushing yards last season. That trio forces defenses into single coverage and creates mismatches the Cowboys' secondary struggled with all last year, especially against explosive plays. The Eagles are 8.5-point favorites. The total is 47.5 points. The money line has the Eagles at -425 and the Cowboys at +320. That means the market is giving Philadelphia about a 77% chance to win. This game opened with the Eagles favored by 7. It moved up to 8.5. The money line opened around -300 and now sits near -400. That movement came after sharp bettors hit Philadelphia hard following the Parsons trade. Public betting splits aren't fully out, but a shift of more than a point is almost always driven by sharp money, not casual action. For the total, 47.5 points. The market expects scoring close to 28 for Philadelphia and around 19 for Dallas. That projection is baked directly into the line. The Eagles' defense finished second in the league in EPA per play allowed. Their offense was 13th in DVOA. That means they were efficient, but not elite on every drive, leaning on a heavy run game with Saquon Barkley. The Cowboys enter with a reshuffled defense. Without Micah Parsons, pressure rate projections drop sharply, and Dallas already struggled with explosive plays last year. Simulation models put Philadelphia at a 76% chance to win. The sportsbook money line at -420 implies closer to 80%. That means the money line is overpriced. Negative expected value. You are paying too much for the Eagles, straight up. But the spread is different. At -8.5, the implied win rate is about 68%. Compare that to the model's 76% projection. That is an 8% edge. Positive expected value. Here are the best EV bets. First, Eagles -8.5 at DraftKings, priced at -105. That's about an 8% edge. Here's what that means. An 8% edge equals $8 profit per $100 wagered over the long run. Sportsbooks build in a house edge of 4 to 5%. If you're finding positive EV spots like this, you're beating the big. That's what separates bettors from gamblers. Let's start with Dak Prescott. The Cowboys are almost certain to play from behind. That means pass volume. His prop line sits at 36.5 attempts at DraftKings, priced -124. Projections put him closer to 40 attempts. That's a 3 to 4% edge. A positive EV spot. Passing yards show the same story. BetMGM lists Prescott at 247.5 yards, priced -115. Projections land near 255. That's another 3 to 4% edge. If Dallas trails, these overs correlate. Attempts plus yards, both lean over with positive value. Now Saquon Barkley. His workload is secure. BetMGM has his rushing yard line at 93.5, priced around -110. Projection models push him into the 110 range. That's roughly a 5% edge. Positive EV. At Caesars, some markets list him at 95.5 yards with even money odds. That is an even stronger value for bettors who can shop lines. Barkley's attempt prop is also playable. 18.5 carries, priced -110. His average in similar game scripts last season was 22. That gives a 3 to 4% edge. At smaller books like PointsBet, the same prop is listed at -105. That line bumps the EV slightly higher. On the receiving side, A.J. Brown. His yardage prop is set at 72.5, usually -110 at most books. Projections put him near 80. That is a 4% edge to the over. At BetRivers, the same line is offered at +100. That's rare, and it gives you a cleaner EV position. CeeDee Lamb sits at 6.5 receptions. FanDuel prices the over at +106. Dak's volume plus Lamb's target share supports 8 catches. That's a 3% edge. Some sharper books already moved this to 7.5 with plus money. If you can still get 6.5 at plus odds, it's a strong play. To recap these props, Prescott over 36.5 attempts and over 247.5 yards both hold positive expected value with projections favoring a pass-heavy script. Barkley over 93.5 rushing yards and over 18.5 carries. His volume is secure, and the matchup is favorable. A.J. Brown over 72.5 yards with an edge of about 4%. Even stronger if you can find plus money. CeeDee Lamb over 6.5 receptions at plus 106 with projections backing 8 catches. Here's what the numbers mean. A 3 to 5% edge equals $3 to $5 profit per $100 wagered over time. Barkley's rushing line at 93.5 shows a 5% edge. That's $5 profit on every $100 bet in the long run. This is how you get ahead of the VIG. Sports books build in about 4 to 5% house edge. If you consistently find 3, 4, or 5% edges, you beat the book long term. That's why line shopping matters. DraftKings, BetMGM, FanDuel, Caesars, even smaller shops like BetRivers or PointsBet. Sometimes the difference of minus 110 versus even money is the difference between breaking even and having real EV. That is the player prop breakdown. Several strong overs, a few key spots with hidden value if you're willing to shop around, and most importantly, all of them backed by positive expected value, not just gut instinct. I'm locking in a few spots I like, not because they're razor-thin EV, but because the matchup scripts scream, play this. 1. Dak Prescott over 36.5 pass attempts. The Cowboys will likely trail early. Expect a heavy pass script. DraftKings offers this prop with the juice around minus 120. That's the best line out there. I like to get this before any shifts. 2. CeeDee Lamb over receiving yards. In a pass-heavy script, Lamb will see volume. FanDuel and BetRivers offer lines around his projected output. If you can still get plus money, plus 106, that's a strong volume meets matchup play. 3. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. Hurts is elite near the goal line, both rushing and passing. I like anytime TD here. Tote is offering boosted odds on a unique Hurts, Barkley, and Lamb all score a touchdown. Odds are 13 to 2, way juicier than the usual 5 to 1. That's a fantastic offer. 4. Saquon Barkley over 2.5 receptions, plus 160. Not a huge EV prop, but it fits the scheme. Dallas under new DC Matt Eberflus runs soft zone coverage. RBs against his setups tend to see more short passes. Barkley should see enough targets to clear 2.5. If I wanted to get crazy, over 1.5 receptions is available at minus 180. High juice, but opener energy works here. 5. Under on the total. I'm leaning under 47.5. Week 1, teams show rust. Slow starts are common, especially with a Cowboys defense that's shaky and an even better Eagles D. This game could be sloppy and slow. So, let's recap. Best EV bet. Eagles minus 8.5, DraftKings at minus 105. Player prop. Dak Prescott over 36.5 pass attempts, DraftKings at minus 124. Player prop. Saquon Barkley over 93.5 rushing yards, BetMGM at minus 110. Player prop. A.J. Brown over 72.5 receiving yards, better as at plus 100. Player prop. CeeDee Lamb over 6.5 receptions, FanDuel at plus 106. Gameplay. Jalen Hurts anytime touchdown. Tote odds boost at 13 to 2. Standard price 5 to 1. Scheme play. A Saquon Barkley over 2.5 receptions. DraftKings at plus 160. Total lean under 47.5 points. Caesars at minus 110. The best bet on the board is Eagles minus 8.5 at DraftKings, priced at minus 105. The fair line should be closer to Eagles minus 9 to minus 9.5. That's why this number matters. At 8.5, the projection gives them about a 55 to 56% chance to cover. The sportsbook only needs 51% at this price. That gap is your 6 to 8% edge. Positive EV. This game could define the NFC East early. If you've got a favorite play, drop it in the comments. Make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. We'll be breaking down every game, every prop, and every edge all season long.